All right, let's kick off from there in regards to the business news. It is the news hour time. Now let's get right into it for you to actually get to understand what is actually making headlines from the world of news. And kicking it off, the Ministry of Finance Permanent Secretary Ramadan Gobi say that this financial year, the economy is projected to grow at 3.8%, about the outturn of 3.4% registered in the financial year 2020-2021. Gobi notes that with the easing of the coronavirus lockdown, there has been a continued recovery of the economy, shown by high-frequency indicators of economic activity. He made the remarks during the Q2 expenditure releases of financial year 2021-2022. More of the details.
So far, this financial year indicates the economy has continued on its recovery path following the partial reopening by His Excellency the President.
On October 7th, 2021, Uganda Bureau of Statistics released the revised estimates of gross production numbers for financial year 2020 to 2021. The numbers show that there has been a gradual recovery of the economy. The economy grew by 3.4% during the financial year 2020-2021 compared to 3.0% in financial year 2019 to 2020. The Minister of Finance Permanent Secretary Ramadan Gobi has said that this financial year, the economy is projected to grow at 3.8% above the outturn of 3.4% registered in the financial year 2020 to 2021. Gobi notes that the easing of the coronavirus lockdown, there has been a continued recovery of the economy as shown by high-frequency indicators of the economic activity. He made the remarks during the Q2 expenditure releases of financial year 2021 to 2022.
What we call Purchasers Managers Index has improved to 52.5 in September from 50.2 in August, mainly on account of rising new orders and increased output by businesses as normal activity gradually resumed following the lockdown in July 2020. Another indicator we are using is the Composite Index of Economic Activity, which has also increased to 146.4 in August this year from 146.1 in July 2021. In addition, despite economic challenges caused by the pandemic.
In terms of numbers, Gobi said that the economy has grown by 3.4% during the current 2020-2021 financial year compared to 3.0% in the previous 2019 to 2020 financial year. Whereas, in the normal terms, the size of the economy has also grown, saying that the government will continue to provide support to the private sector through the interventions like the Small Business Recovery Fund to ensure continued recovery.
Government will continue to provide support to the private sector through interventions that have already been highlighted in our budget strategy, such as the Small Business Recovery Fund, to ensure continued recovery. This financial year, the economy is projected to grow at 3.8% above the outturn of 3.4% registered last financial year.
Bank of Uganda recently projected the country's growth rate to be between 3.5 and 3.8% for the year 2021 to 2022 financial year, but slightly lower than what it had earlier projected between 3.5 and 4%. However, civil society organizations called on the Ministry of Finance to harness the relationship between the technical people and the politicians that at the local government level.
We also realized that there's a weak performance of local councils in exercising oversight in local government budgets, and this is mostly resulting from dysfunctional relationships between the technical and the political arms at local government level. The relationship between the technical and the politicians is something that can still be worked on. And our proposal is that this working relationship can be strengthened by improving the flow of budget information. Sometimes budget information goes directly to the technical people and not to the political people.
Ngobi said that they are ensuring that the economy keeps open by vaccinating people. Government has started the purchase of vaccines with an aim of vaccinating a sizable number of the population, and this is the only game changer in as far as reopening the economy is concerned. Pedson Mumbere.
Ngobi said that they are ensuring the economy keeps open by vaccinating the people. This is a drive by the government where you've actually seen we are getting all these donations of the virus, of the vaccines. I almost say we're getting donation from the virus, but the donations from the International Monetary Fund. Just recently we had over 700,000 vaccines of Sinovac vaccines coming through from China. So, and more of the vaccines are coming through as well. And if you look at the situation, government started the purchase of vaccines with an aim of vaccinating a sizable number of the population, and this is the only game changer in as far as reopening, the full reopening of the economy is concerned. The Bank of Uganda recently projected the country's growth rate to be between 3.5 and 3.8% for the 2021 to 2022 financial year, but slightly lower than what it had earlier projected, between 3.5% and 4%. All right. Away from that, traders dealing in coffee exporting have been challenged to balance the fluctuating commodity prices. That was during a training of coffee traders in Namamve. And according to Coffee Development Authority, coffee exports for 12 months between April 2020 to March 2021 totaled to 5.65 million bags worth $523.07 million US, compared to 4.88 million bags worth $479.81 US dollars. That is $479.81 million US dollars the previous year. More of these details.
Commodity prices are volatile. They can go up or they can go down. And none of us ever knows when this is going to happen. So the tool we provide is to help our farmers and our traders and our dealers and exporters to manage that up and down movement of the commodity prices. It's not only coffee, it's everything really. It's coffee, it's maize, it's everything. Yeah.
Reports from Coffee Development Authority indicates that coffee exports for 12 months, that's April 2020 to March 2021, totaled to 5.65 million bags compared to 4.88 million bags the previous year. This represents a 16% and 11% increase in quantity and value respectively. 77% of the total volume was exported by 10 exporters out of 44 companies which performed during the month, compared to 74% in January 2021, reflecting increased concentration.
Coffee generally, the prices shoot and lower at any time. We have no control because the people who control the prices are abroad, yeah? So for us, because when we get the coffee, we sell it to the people like maybe Yugakoff here. Those ones mainly absorb that. Yeah. So for us, it doesn't affect us so much because we mainly sell within the seasonal. What is it called?
Within the season.
Yeah, when the season comes, because when it comes, there's usually a particular price, and then there are all these extra. Oh, I'm losing the word.
Costs?
No, not costs. Incentives that companies like Yugakoff add to you. Yeah, so it helps somehow to backtrack all the costs that you've incurred within.
How you do this, how you protect yourself, is to take coffee as an example. You buy some coffee, let us say you buy 1,000 kilos of coffee, physical, you get your money and you pay a farmer you get this coffee, but it's in your hands. And while it is in your hands, the market can go down. And when the market goes down, you lose money. You can't sell it. So what we do is, at the moment of buying, of purchase, we allow you to also sell your coffee. Not to a physical buyer, but to a platform. And that platform guarantees you a price, even if the market goes down. Yeah, so if the market goes down, it guarantees you a return.
Well, right now, when you look at the time we started in 2017, and when you look at the UCD exporters list, as of current, most of the exporters we have on the list have been in training. And as of now, we look at, even when we were discussing the 2025 vision, 20 million bags, it started off with the ADC and the viability. We've been working in collaboration with different sector players like the UCDA, and you find that by hitting the 6 million bag target in July, it was not by surprise, because we've pre-planned this and we've prepared our farmers to understand contracting, the different risks within the contracts, understand the different markets in the different countries, and when we see the risk, we are already seeing all our
Coffee is almost exclusively produced in low and middle income countries, and smallholder farming accounts for up to 80% of the global coffee production. Close to 1.32 million Ugandan farmers rely on coffee as their primary source of income. In Uganda's Rwenzori region, rural households earn an average of $624 a year. The majority of
reports from the Coffee Development Authority indicates that coffee exports for 12 months between April 2020 to March 2021 totaled up to 5.65 million bags, worth 523.07 million compared to 4.88 million bags, worth $479.81 million the previous year. Now, this represents 16% and 11% increase in quantity and value, respectively. 77% of the total volume was exported by 10 exporters out of the 44 companies which performed during the month, compared to 74% in January 2021, reflecting increased concentration as well as organic Dranga that fetched the highest price at $6.61 per kilo. Away from that, let's head to the next one. Students have been encouraged to embrace online studies to complete school due to the continuous lockdowns. Abdallah Kasule, a university lecturer with Nexus University, has encouraged students to embrace online studies due to the continuing effects of the pandemic, like closure of schools, among others. During an interview with Smart 24 TV, Kasule said this initiative will help immediate school accomplishment in time amidst COVID-19. More of this story.
As days draw closer for the anticipated reopening of schools, the Education Ministry officials are worried about the mental and well-being of the learners who have been out of school for 2 years due to COVID-19-induced lockdown. But this might not be the case for students that have been having studies online. Speaking to Smart 24 TV, Abdallah Kasule, a university lecturer, says that students who graduate with online courses don't differ from those that are used to attending face-to-face interaction, since they study the same thing. Besides, they have an advantage over the rest, since they are using digital tools given practical assignments.
Students who graduate from online classes are all like any other students who graduate from wherever they are. Only that they who graduate from online classes may even be having better advantage over the others. One reason being that for them, most of the online classes are more of a practical environment, because you are not going to be physically conducting classes online. Rather, in a physical environment, you are going to be given assignments which are practical assignments within your environment. So take a student who is doing, for example, business administration, and you are in a situation where you are going to be required to write a business proposal to submit it. So you are the person who are actually knowing what you are doing and how you can be able to write this business proposal to get. These are the kinds of assignments we are giving them, and we want to see you come out with this practical assignment and tell us how did you execute it. So in terms of skills, practical skills that online students actually get, they are far, far more reaching. Think of a student who is going to be having physical classes who goes out for internship for only 3 weeks, and then at the end of it all, he comes back and says that I've done internship. Yet in online classes, our internship activities are actually the practical assignments that are given to you on a daily basis, on a class basis, and at the end of the course, you'll find that you have got a rich experience of what you have got, because this is what we are doing.
Meanwhile, in order to drive the education system to the online platform, there has to be mindset change for the key players in the sector, from the students to their parents and also the government, to check on its policies and the taxes on the internet to facilitate online education. Bertrand Musika, a lecturer, says even internet providers should provide packages for students in order to promote this.
It's improved the mindset, not only of students as well, those joining, but also their decision makers who are the parents. The parents should start changing their mindset and shift it and know that we're now in a digital world. That's the first thing. It begins with us, it begins from your mind, and once we change this, we embrace it. People are doing this, people that have online degrees and qualifications are getting jobs out there. The second thing that should be improved as a country, we need to improve our internet facilities and people that come with it, have more bandwidth.
President Museveni, while announcing the reopening of schools on September 22nd, said tertiary institutions will open on November 1st this year, while other learning institutions will reopen in January next year. This, he said, would reopen after 4.8 million people who fall under the vulnerable category being vaccinated. Museveni ordered the closure of schools in March last year as one of the measures to curb the spread of COVID-19. Along the way, student classes were reopened to complete the syllabus and also sit for their final 2020 exams, although some private institutions have been carrying out online studies.
The thing that other institutions or universities can do is have partnerships with some of us that are already in this space, or partnerships with other universities, collaborate and have, once we're collaborative and we join forces, we can have something better. So that's something else that universities can do.
All right, away from that, now we've all realized the fact that COVID is here and it came to stay, like someone would put it. So you would suggest, if you're a student and you've been ongoing and used to the face-to-face interaction, it is high time you went and applied for some online course, because these are courses that are going to keep you busy even during a time when we shall have another set of lockdown. Who knows? God forbid anyway. And if at all we are to have another set, how will you continue with school? So you definitely see the online platforms are always there to promote the situation. And away from that, the world is moving digital. Why don't you start from there with the online classes to understand the competition that is there in the digital space? And at that end, you can definitely be of importance in terms of the situation regarding COVID. Away from that, the Ministry of Finance officials have claimed that the money for early access to the National Social Security Fund, that is the NSSF, is available. Now, this is contrary to claims made by the NSSF Managing Director, Richard Byarugaba, last week. More of this story. Appearing before the Parliament's Gender, Labour and Social Development Committee that is scrutinising the NSSF Amendment Bill 2021, the Said Minister of Finance in charge of general duties, Henry Musasizi, said all eligible savers will receive their money once the law is implemented. Musasizi, however, revealed that even when the midterm access cash is granted, the Finance Minister would have discretion to determine access conditions, including setting the percentage in the statutory instrument, and there is no guarantee that all savers will receive all the 20%. This would range from 0% to 20%. On the other hand, the leadership of the National Union of Disabled Persons in Uganda asked the same committee to consider their proposal to allow them have the midterm access at 40 years. Similarly, Sasizi defended the government proposal to transfer management of NSSF to the Ministry of Finance. He reasoned that this is because the ministry has enough manpower to manage and control finances. The chairperson of the Gender Committee, Flavia Kabahenda, said government needs to advance and support a suggestion in which once a bill is passed by Parliament, then the clerk to Parliament can explain the details in the bills as passed. This, according to Kabahenda, will save Parliament from undergoing what happened to the previous bill, which the President sent back, said it was not clear to him. She also reasoned that this would save the government resources and save Parliament time so that they can deliberate on other matters. All right, and if you look at the NSSF issue, this is the same thing that we're actually discussing here. And if you are to continue on the same case, according to the minister we've been having in studio, you really need to be patient regarding this issue, and it's just a matter of time that the bill is going to be passed into law, and you'll definitely access your midterm benefits in the long run. Away from that, the permanent secretary from the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, Ramadan Gobi, has emphasized that all accounting office to ensure timely submission of performance reports and accountability, as well as clearance of domestic areas, must be prioritized during the quarter, among others. While speaking to journalists, Gobi said that the ministry is not going to entertain laissez-faire and laxity. The civil society organization expressed concern over the intimidations and pressure mounted on the district accounting officers. More of this story.
This country, you see, has really accumulated enough capacity to solve the challenges we have. But there's a lot of inefficiency, a lot of, laissez-faire attitude in some areas. People are in the government and they don't work. That's not good. Some are claiming, I'm not working because you are not rewarding me very well. But they are not living so that somebody is coming. I would like to emphasize the following. Number one, all accounting officers must ensure that they pay wages, salaries, pension and gratuity by 28th of every month, because this money is provided on time. No accounting officer should cite an excuse of not paying people on the 28th of every month. Number two, accounting officers must prioritize payment of service providers on time and avoid accumulation of arrears. Because this money is provided for, they should prioritize this payment. Number three, there should be a display of the payrolls for salaries and monthly pension on government institutions notice board every month to ensure transparency and accountability. Number four, accounting officers must ensure timely submission of performance reports.
The language being used is want to punish the accounting officers for failure to do this, failure to do this. In terms of management or human resource management, when people are under pressure to be punished, their morale and motivation goes down. And that was going around. Of course, there is a reason to punish accounting officers for failure to do their job, but I think we use it too much, and I think we see them recoiling. Our proposal is that actually those that perform, that we should introduce.
When accounting officers, us emphasizing sanctions instead of rewards, Dr. Arthur, I always tell people that man listens to two things: incentive or danger. Nothing else. These are the things we say: mobilization, mobilize the people. No. Human beings, all of us, respond to incentive or danger. So now that we are in a partnership, we are going to give ourselves tasks.
All right, away from that, let's say to the next one. Stanbic Bank Uganda Limited has placed Morgus Group assets under receivership to recover outstanding loans. Now, one may wonder, what is receivership? Now, receivership is a remedy available to secured creditors to recover amounts outstanding under a secured loan in the event that the company defaults on the matter of the loan it applied for. It is therefore used as a debt collecting tool. Let's have a look at this story.
According to the bank, The move has been mooted in order to recover outstanding debts accrued by the oil marketing company. In a letter to the Inspector General of Police dated September 28, 2021, the bank notified him of an intended enforcement of security against a defaulter. The bank says as part of the receivership process, the property of Mogus in various parts of the country will be taken over by the receivers appointed by the bank. The bank says it requests for assistance from police while carrying out the process. In another letter dated October 14, 2021, Mark Advocates has written to the police chief informing him of the appointment of lawyer Kabito Karamaji, the receiver of the company. The law firm in the letter informed police that the takeover of Mogus assets will happen in Kampala, Jinja, Entebbe and Busega. According to Stanbic, Mogus has been a client of Standard Bank Group and is multi-borrowed across several jurisdictions, including Uganda, and the asset takeover was being applied as a last resort. Mogus, multinational integrated downstream oil marketing company, is said to have defaulted on its loan obligations, resulting in a protracted repayment negotiation that started in 2018 and has culminated in the current recovery process. Founded in 1987, Maestro Oil and Gas Solutions, Mogus, is an integrated regional downstream oil marketing company with business operations ranging from international oil trading to marine and inland terminals, retail networks, and lubrication services. In Uganda, Mogus core operating assets include modern inland fuel depots with a capacity of 5,000 cubic meters in Kampala, among other areas, whereas the company is the sole distributor for Castrol in Uganda and Rwanda.
Mogus is a multinational company that is integrated with the downstream in oil marketing, and the company is said to have defaulted on its loan obligations, resulting into a protracted repayment negotiation that started way back in 2018 and has culminated in the current recovery process. Now, it was founded in 1987. Maestro Oil and Gas Solutions, that is Mogus, is an integrated regional downstream of oil marketing company with business operations ranging from international oil trading to marine and inland terminals, retail networks, and lubrication services. In Uganda today, Mogus's core operating assets include modern inland fuel depots with a capacity of 5,000 cubic meters in Kampala, among others, whereas the company is the sole distributor of Castrol in Uganda and Rwanda as well. Okay, away from the news hour, coming up after the break, we're heading into the topic of discussion with Andrew Barija. We are going to be looking at curfew and Kenya and more of the details in Kenya. Just stick around, more and more is yet to come. This is SMB.